and I won't waste it.
Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to Growing the Dream. I do hope you're all doing very well and having a brilliant day. So, you join me first thing in the morning, the first day of September. We've finally progressed out of the first starter month where you just get what you get at the end of the day. It's usually August, isn't it, unless you're running the start from spring mod. But yeah, we're now in 1st of September and in the first of our 5-day months. So, that's all good. I'm just going to hitch up the animal trailer. Those of you who have been following the series along so far, obviously I've only covered a couple of episodes, but in the last episode we did manage to get ourselves a couple of male animals, because I am running realistic livestock in this series. I just need to check. There, I've got myself back far enough to hitch up the trailer. Hopefully I'm not too far away. But yeah, we made a purchase. We got ourselves a Jersey bull, which has been very busy in the dairy barn there. We have, let me just focus on that there, get myself back into cab. Yeah, the Jersey bull has been very busy. We have now got 25 animals in calf, which is brilliant. So yeah, he's been very busy overnight, as it were, but the Texel ram has not. Now, I'm not too sure if that is because my sheep at the minute are currently only at 80% productivity. The Jersey bulls are at the Jersey cattle are at 100% productivity, and since I've jumped into the save and jumped into September, a lot of them have got themselves pregnant. So from the introduction of the bull, so I think that might be it. You can, by all means, let me know in the comments if I'm missing something there, but like I say, I went through the animals and sure enough we've got 25 cattle in calf, but the sheep aren't, but they're only at 80% productivity, so I'm only assuming that is why they haven't got pregnant. So we'll just see how what happens with those in time. But yeah, the animal dealer now has a couple of Hereford bulls in stock, so we're going down there now nice and early. And we're going to go and make a purchase. I think there's 4 in total that I've got the choice of, but only one of them is of good health. Now, this particular one isn't of age yet. It's only 10 months old, and they can start reproducing at 12 months. So, yeah, I'm going to need to wait for a couple of months before this animal will start reproducing. But I think it's a good idea to get hold of it. I mean, I could be patient and wait, but the health of this particular animal does seem pretty much bang on, so I think I'm going to go for it. It's just over a couple of grand in price. So yeah, let's pop that there. We should get the trigger. There we are. And if we scroll down and have a look. So yeah, we've got the choice, like I say, of 4 Hereford bulls. The one at the bottom here, it's only 6 months old, but obviously the details are in orange and yellow there, relatively low and extremely low health, etc. This one's a little bit better, 10 months old, 12-month old here, again, relatively low quality. But then we've got this one at £2,240, which looks extremely healthy. So we're going to give that box a tick. I'm going to buy the selected. Yep. I'm going to pop it into my livestock trailer. There we go. I'm not going to faff around with the door like I did the other day. But yeah, that's perfect, that is. And then we shall make a trip up to our pasture and go and introduce this to the herd. And then in a couple of months' time, we should start to see a bit of reproduction coming on in our herd of Hereford cattle. Now, focusing very briefly on the cattle, there's something not quite right, I don't think. Now, obviously, I know, and I've been fully aware that with the plethora of mods that I'm running on this series, there was a chance that something might cause of just not glitches, not problems, but just you know, things that don't necessarily seem right. Now, I don't know if this is a case of a mod not behaving itself correctly, but I'm referring to the time left of the food that I've got in my... Oh, hello. I can't... Would you like to replace this... Oh, I've got a puncture. Goodness me. Right. Oh, you see, I've got the puncture tyres mod running. See, that came at a complete surprise. I want to see it. Would you like to replace this tyre at a cost of £724 labour included? I want to see it, but what happens if I click on no? Am I going to be left stuck? I feel it's right to be left stuck. Let's see what we can do with this. Yeah, I'm going to be left stuck with this. Alright, let's come to a stop. Oh, this is interesting. Right, okay. Let's see what we can... I do hope I get a visual flat tyre. Where's my puncture? Oh, there we are. Oh, that's brilliant, that is, isn't it? I've just got a puncture. Never had a puncture before. This is the puncture tyres mod, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't expecting that. Sorry, mate. You'll have to work your way around. Don't slow down or anything. 7:10 in the morning. He's in a hurry, isn't he? Hey up. I suppose I should have put my hazards on. Right, well, I'm going to have to do something about this, aren't I? Right. What to do? What to do? Right, I think what I am going to have to do is I'm just going to have to limp this off the road. Luckily, we're right next to this little area here. So I'm going to have to very gently... Oh, do you know what? I think I'm just going to have to do this, aren't I? Yeah, okay. Oh, boom. Right, okay. I'd have very much liked to properly do that. But I don't have a trailer to flatbed anything back home. And I don't know what happens if... well, I suppose I'm just going to be... As long as I keep getting in and out of the vehicle, I'm going to keep getting that prompt, aren't I? Dead interesting now. That's pretty cool. Right, so, where was I? Yeah, train of thought. Goodness me. What was I talking about? Cow food. Yeah, so... Let me just pull off the junction here, and I'll show you what I mean. I'll pull into the entrance of the pub here, because I'm sure there's not going to be many pub goers at 7:10 in the morning. They've certainly got a problem if they are. But if I jump into my animal menu, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to go to the cows, for example, first of all. So the dairy stall, right. NX Modding's feed calculator mod, first and foremost. If any of you aren't familiar with that, it's an absolutely brilliant thing. As you can see, it's got all the details for telling me when I'm going to run out of straw and food and how much manure and slurry the animals produce, etc., etc. But, and I don't believe this has got anything to do with NX Modding's mod. I think this is to do with it's the base amount of food that the cattle eat. But as you can see here, we've got 82,628 litres of food currently in this dairy barn. And it tells me that these animals are going to run out of food in 9 months and 3 days. 9 months and 3 days, which is absolutely ridiculous. So, I don't actually know how to alter this. If any of you wonderful people do know, please give me a shout in the comments and let me know. But I need to alter that to ramp up the rate in which the cattle go through food. Because I don't, you know, as you all know, I'm trying to do this series as realistically as possible, and animals need feeding every day, every couple of days at least. So I need to increase that massively, don't I? I can't just be sitting back and going, yeah, I've got 9 months before my animals need feeding again. It's complete nonsense. So, and it's the same. It's the same story with well, look at the small chickens over here, for example. We've got 54 months before these guys run out of food, which is just nonsense. 13 months before the sheep run out of what have they got? Just under 19,000 litres of feed. So, yeah, need to do something about that, but obviously I don't know what to do about that right this second. So, like I say, if any of you do have any tips for me in that respect, please do give me a shout, because I'd certainly like to ramp that up and make that a lot more realistic, because that's completely crazy. But until that, obviously, I don't need, you know, I've got a couple of grass fields that are ready to cut, get first cut out of them. So I do need to work on that. I do need to get that done, but purely because of this the fact that I don't need to worry right this second about that until I get this sorted. I can focus on the other work that we've got to do, of which there is a lot. We have currently got 1, 2, 3, 4 fields to harvest. Some of those fields are the new acquisitions that we purchased in the last episode. We're now almost £700,000 in debt. That is across the loan I took out to purchase new land, and also the 230 odd grand I spent on my shiny new John Deere tractor, which is currently not shiny at the minute. That's another thing I need to invest in, is a pressure washer, so I can keep the things clean. But it really is going to be a test, this. It genuinely is. There's so much to think about. One of the other things I have gone into a little bit more detail just in the last few minutes before I've hit record on this is the advanced damage system mod, which is incredible. It really is. But I've done a little bit of a very short amount of internet research regarding some of the features of advanced damage system. Again, trying to grasp onto as much of a modicum of realism as I can. Let's get that gate open. There we are. And it's regarding the servicing intervals of the vehicles. See, I'm trying not to overwhelm myself and just keep talking about so many different random things in one go with you guys on this video. Oh, there was a bit of lag, wasn't there? But yeah, right. I need to. In fact, no, I'm getting mistaken with my sheep pasture there. I was thinking I need to reverse in, but my Hereford cattle are just through this gate here, and I don't need to worry about reversing in because the trigger is down at the bottom of the field there. Whoops, forgot to open my door. Yeah, the trigger's just down there, so I'm going to have to go through the gates, shut the gates. Right, let's get the door open and get the trigger that's on the other side of the water trough there and feed trough. Morning, cows. How are you doing? Right, let's get that gate shut again. It's the right thing to do. Lots of in and outs, isn't there? But I've got to say a massive thank you to all of you. I've had so many wonderful comments since starting this series. So many of you have been really excited and looking forward to the next episode. This one so far, which is great. But just that you all seem to be thoroughly appreciating the way I'm approaching this and trying to do things as realistically as possible, and in some cases as putting myself through a right amount of faff. But the trigger is on the other side here, so what I need to do actually is open this gate. Again, lots of ins and outs. Just make sure I've got the opening. Which way do you open? That way. Don't hit my tractor. Ooh, just about made that, I think. Right. There we are. So, I think the trigger... Let me bring up the F1 menu. The trigger's somewhere just about behind me here, I think. Open animal dialogue. There we go. Perfect. So, yep. Let's move this to the pasture. Move selected. Move to husbandry. Yep. There we are. Excellent. Nice. Very happy with that, and I think what I'll do is I'll just come out this way actually, so it's a bit easier than going back through the pasture. There we are. Get rid of that. Let's get out. Go shut the gate before they try and escape. But yeah, now we should have, where's my numbers? 31. Yeah, there we go. Excellent stuff. So we've got, like I said, we've got a couple of months before that particular bull comes of age and can start reproducing. But that's job done there. Dead happy with that. So we'll go and take this back to the farm. And then what I do want to do is go on a bit of a crop walk, actually. And go and actually have a look at a couple of the fields, at least, that we purchased in the last episode. I think we might... Do you know what? To save fuel, we may as well go do that now, hadn't we? So, and here's one of our fields. The field that we harvested in the last episode. That's going to need a bit of work. And I do need to get myself familiar with this map, so I'm just going to jump into the PDA and have a look. Whereabouts am I here? Right, so, where am I? Can't see for looking. There we are. Right, okay, yeah, so I want to go and kind of do a left. I'm going to go up and round here. Yeah, okay, I've got an idea where I'm going, I think. I have made myself an auto-drive course for this map, but and spent quite a bit of time making it, but remembering where everything is, having only driven around it once, it'll take a bit of time to get used to, but I have no problem whatsoever in driving around this map because it is absolutely gorgeous. It really is. I can't get enough of this one. I've got to say, my excitement for wanting to start recording this episode kind of took over the necessity that I told myself I need to, because I do need to get recording the latest episode of Bellsmire Mains, and I'm currently behind with that series, so for those of you who do enjoy that as well, I do apologise. I should have been sitting down and writing a script today, but I was just so keen to get into this one again. Because there's so much to take on board, and here's another part of the setup of the map that we haven't seen yet in the series. I have placed down here Aussie's used vehicle sales mod, which is just perfect. It really is. We've got a few bits of equipment here, nothing I'm too interested in at the minute, but I kind of figured I would lay it into the landscape around this gorgeous big manor house here. Now, those of you, the hawk-eyed viewers in the first couple of episodes will have noticed if I jumped into the PDA, you will see that I do own this plot of land. I'm not planning on benefiting from it whatsoever, but I wasn't too sure if Aussie's used vehicle sales mod required you to own the land that you place down that thing on. So I do own it, but I'm just going to pretend that I don't. But I just wanted to have this used vehicle sales here, spitting out a few bits of equipment here and there. But yeah, like I say, nothing here of any interest at the minute. So yeah, we'll come back in a wee while. But it just looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Don't you think? It just looks really, really cool. But yeah, we need to take a trip along the road. We'll go and have a look at our newly acquired fields. I purchased field 10, those two fields there essentially in front of me where we're looking here, field 34 and 38 I think it is, and field 27 as well, which is just behind us, behind the manor house there. It's quite a sizable field. It currently doesn't have anything in it, but all that will change in the fullness of time. Now I do also have the crop rotation mod, planning mod running on this series. I'm going to look into that in a bit more detail, not necessarily in today's episode because I need to focus on a bit of harvesting work, but this is field 34 I think it is. So we'll pull up here and just have a look at the land. Another thing that I've had to bear in mind, and I haven't done anything about it at the minute because it does require quite a bit of financial outlay for these particular fields, is the precision farming data. I don't have any of the data for the new fields, so this is ours. Field 34. Obviously currently in a nice fresh ploughed state, so this is good for a planting. We'll run the cultivator in this, get a nice seed bed texture down, and then in the fullness of time I'll figure out what I'm going to be planting in here. That field there, you see the one with the telegraph poles and the slight grass islands in the middle, we also own that as well, which is currently an empty field as well. And then just up the hill there is field 38 I think it is, and that is a now ready to harvest crop of linseed, which I do need to be getting down to as well. But yeah, let's quick view there of field 34, but as you can see I've got no precision farming data, but for all the land that I purchased in the last episode, for me to buy in all of the precision farming data from the menu at least anyway is going to cost me somewhere in the region of about 25 grand. And I don't have that money at the minute, do I? I'm not going to throw half of my existing bank balance at the precision farming data, so I'm just going to have to soldier on without it for now. Because again, it's a struggle this. I want it to be a struggle. I don't want to be sitting on pounds of cash, and I don't want everything to be dead easy. So yeah, I'm just going to make do without it for now until I can afford it. But we will be getting on with a bit of harvesting in this episode. We've got the lavender is ready to harvest, which is going to be an interesting one. That's relatively unique to this map and my version of the map. The poppies are ready to harvest. We've got 2 fields of poppies, and this linseed is also ready to harvest as well. The grass is ready to mow. The field of mint that we have, again, which is relatively unique to this version of the map, my own version of the map here. Again, big shout out to David Van Mol for his help in doing all that. Yeah. Need to do quite a bit of harvesting today, but yeah, the linseed here is ready to harvest. I think what I will do, I think, possibly is sell everything straight away for now, because I don't want to be holding on to too many crops in the silo. I need to get some money into the bank, but it's not going to be a huge amount of money, even though the field is a pretty sizable field. I'm not expecting massive returns from this. Obviously, I don't have the precision farming data, but we all know what it's like when you get a field from by default without having limed and fertilized the field yourself. The yield is always going to be a bit down. The moisture levels are almost bang on there. Expected range between 9 and 23%. We're currently at 10.9%. That is pretty much the case with all the fields, thankfully, which is great. So yeah, I think we need to get down to a bit of harvesting first and foremost, don't we? Now, one thing that was mentioned to me about talking about harvesters in particular is I may well need one of those special harvesters which is suitable for harvesting hills and inclines, but there's no chance of me doing that, is there? I can't afford to. There's still a couple of £100,000 tied up in the Treon that I currently have, the Klaus Treon harvester, but I'm not going to do any chopping and changing for now. I'm going to see how mine copes with the hills, because I have harvested hills, relatively steep hills before in Farming Simulator with normal non-hill centric combine harvesters, and it worked perfectly fine. I do have the realistic harvesting mod running on this this series, so things will be more difficult, and obviously add that into the advanced damage system mod as well. There's a lot more to think about. There really is. But yeah, do you know what? I'm trying to think if I've already mentioned this before already so far in this video so far, but I was talking about the advanced damage system and the servicing intervals. Now, one of the amendments I have made, because I did do a little bit of Google researching, one of the amendments I've made is to the service intervals of the vehicles. By default, advanced damage system gives you a service interval of 5 hours. That's pretty much blanket across all of your machinery. It might change a little bit, like the combine harvester I think might have been 6 hours, but the tractors were all set at a service interval of 5 hours. Now that seemed to me a little bit extreme, and sure enough, when I did a little bit of internet research, just typed into Google essentially what is the you know, the rough service interval for a combine harvester in the UK, it was telling me that you'd give it a basic service interval of 50 hours, and then every 50 to 100 hours after that. Of course, you do your daily checks for your grease and your fluids, etc., etc. But once, you know, it's that 5 hours seemed really, really savage, quite frankly. And I think with the expenditure that would require me to put out, it seemed a little bit too harsh. So what I have done is I have changed that setting in advanced damage system. I've kept everything else default in advanced damage system. I haven't wanted to faff around with and muck around with the settings at all, really. With that, I really ideally wanted to leave everything at the default settings, which I have done, apart from the service interval. So I've changed that service interval to 50 hours. One of the reasons why initially that brought it to my attention was when I jumped into this save this morning and started having a look around to start planning things, was my combine harvester was 4.4 hours into its 5-hour service schedule. So if I wanted to jump in the combine and get working to do the right thing, I'd have meant giving it a proper full service beforehand. So with that in mind, I did then turn it up to 50 hours. Now again, trying to do things remotely correctly. There we go. See if we can, without reversing, without taking myself out of in-cab view, because I have told myself strictly that I'm staying in cab view. And I mean, working with tractors and trailers, it can be a challenge because you can't really move yourself around in cab that easily to give yourself a better view. Yes, you've got your mirrors and stuff like that, I get that, but when it comes to combine harvesters and the forage harvesters, etc., it's going to be quite a challenge, that, isn't it? But I've successfully managed to drop that back off there, though. No, I haven't. That's where my straw blower was parked. You see, when I reversed to line up, in my mind I couldn't remember whether it was this bay or that bay that I'd picked it out of. Right, I've done that one wrong, haven't I? Right, well, let's just gloss over that for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't see the straw blower from behind me, could I? Anyway, yeah. Yeah. Oops, I'll sort that out shortly. First mistake of the day. There's going to be a few. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm no professional. So yeah, the alteration to the advanced damage system mod. That's what I've made. Like I say, so the service intervals are now at 50 hours. So let's get back to the farmyard here now, and I'll just jump in very quickly and show you. And then we need to get down to a bit of work because we're currently 20 odd minutes into this episode already with me talking along. But there's a lot to talk about at the end of the day. This series is, and this save is, extremely detailed, and it requires lots and lots of faffing around. Now, let's just keep that running because we're going to be using this to hitch up to the header and get the header out, because I think what I'm going to do, we're going to go and sort the linseed out, I think. That field that we've just been in, and then after that we will then... In fact, no. We're going to sort we're going to go and have a look at the lavender, I think. Because I don't think I've shown you guys the lavender yet. Have I? There we are. So, I've left the door open for that one. So I can climb in. I mean, this is brilliant, isn't it? Being able to walk up the gangway of your forage harvester, get in cab, pull the door to. It's just amazing, isn't it? It really is. Right, so let's turn on. I need to be mindful, again, of advanced damage system. As you can see, bottom right-hand corner there, the engine temperature has only just been started. It's cold start, so I need to wait for it to warm up. So in fact, what I will do, while I'm waiting for this to warm up, is jump back in the Massey and hitch up the header. In fact, no, I'm getting myself mixed up again there, aren't I? The header's already attached to this one. What do I need? I need the John Deere, actually, for the trailer. The heat's getting to me today, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be my excuse. Right, let's close that door. I need to open that door. Or is that going to close that? Yeah, this... There we go. Got to close one to open another, unfortunately, with this one. But, where are we at engine temperature with this one? Yeah, it looks like we're alright there. That'll do. So, this one's going to be running the trailer, supporting the forage harvester. Get you started up. Right, we'll let you warm up. Back in the forage harvester now. Let's sort that door out. Playing musical doors here, aren't I? This one should be hopefully up to temperature now. Yep, that's all good, all good. Let's lift the header up. Excellent. Right then, out to the lavender field. One of the bits of detail that I really did notice when I first picked up this map, when I did the map tour for it a couple of weeks back, was the texture of the roads. And it's a perfect little detail that Oxy's put into the map, but the roads aren't perfectly flat like they were like the fresh brand new tarmac. They're bumpy and rough, and you can feel it and you can see it as your vehicle drives along the road. I think it's just brilliant. It really is. So this is, I don't think I've shown you this field. This is our other field that we do own that is currently empty, bit of weeds, so this needs a bit of tillage going in here. In the fullness of time, once I get my head round the crop plan that I'm going to have to draw up. But this is our lavender. How cool does this look, eh? Right, let's pull the pipe out of that, I think. See, I should have done that properly with the buttons here, shouldn't I? Yeah, I can see the shadow there. That looks like that's pulling it out. Yeah. Let's drop the header down, which I think is... Which one is it? No, don't want to do that. Is it that one? Yep, it's that one. Get in there. Pop the door. But yeah, check out this lavender. It's so cool. Really nice, vibrant colour. But this is, obviously, we use a forage harvester for cutting this. Check it out. Ready to harvest. And I think what I am going to have to do with this crop, and I've got no choice in the matter, is get it sold straight away, because I can't actually put it into my silo for some reason. The silo doesn't take it. It does take all the other additional crops that we've got on this particular version of the map. It takes the poppies and all that kind of stuff, and the linseed that's all default, as it were, to the map, but it doesn't take lavender for whatever reason, which is fine. So we're going to get this cut, harvested, and sold straight away to the prime oil processing plant down on the south of the map. So yeah, decent sized field as well, 15 acres just over. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to get something decent out of it. It'll be some money in the bank. So but yeah, what I'm going to need to do, again, doing things as correctly as possible, is just for now turn this off, jump out, and lock it up. Have a bit of a wander back to the farm. There we go. And go and get the tractor and the trailer. So, let's go do that now. I'll be back here in a minute. What a shocking level of vehicular security I seem to show at the minute, haven't I? Left this running while I've just buggered off to the field there, but there's not too many thieves in the area, thankfully. There we go, right, so let's get this hooked up to the trailer, back out to the field, and get this lavender cut for the first time. I'm looking forward to this, having never done lavender before in Farming Simulator. And again, a big shout out to David Van Mol for all his help in making this map relatively unique and helping me add these crops to the map. Mint and lavender and a couple of others as well, just to give it a bit of uniqueness, a bit of variety. Right, there we are, that'll do. That we get. I got it close enough. Yes, I managed to get it close enough there, haven't I? Good stuff. Right then. Now, I do apologise. I know there's been a lot of talking in this episode so far, ladies and gentlemen, so I do apologise from my part there. A bit of waffling. But there's like I said before, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot for me to focus on and concentrate on. So much more. You know, in a normal video, a normal series that I record, as it were, I jump into the save, I have a look at what needs doing, I formulate some kind of relatively simple game plan, and start recording a video. But on this one, there's so much more to think about. For example, the vehicle service intervals and stuff. I knew that if I was going to be using the combine harvester soon, it was going to need a service before I took it out, and then that sent me down the rabbit hole of investigating what is a realistic service schedule. So yeah, there's lots and lots to think about. There we are. Got this motorcyclist past. But yeah, let's get cracking with this lavender harvest. We'll get it sold down to the prime oil processing plant. I'll throw a bit of music behind this job. And I'll pick you up when it's done, and hopefully we'll have a few grand in the bank. But I will, of course, keep record of where we're at now financially and what we're going to get in total for this lavender. And we'll go from there. So, see you shortly.
Believe
Right, there we go. Job done. That's the last of it tipped there. And we have made, in total, from that lavender, as near as it makes no difference, £22,500. Not a bad income from that whatsoever. It's a little bit more than what I was expecting, to be honest. So yeah, really happy with that. It wasn't the best sell time to sell lavender, but the difference between the lowest and highest prices was like 30 quid. So it wasn't like hundreds and hundreds, so I really wasn't fussed about taking that hit, as it were. So yes, we would have got more had I been patient, but it wasn't a case of patience also with this one. It was a case of that I couldn't actually put it in my silo, so I would have had to have just let it sit loose on the floor. So anyway, the job is done. That's all that matters. The forager's back at the farm, and that's where we are on our way to now as well. Go and get cracking on. I think what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to make a start on the linseed. It's 10 to 11, so I think, considering where we're up to on this video time-wise, I think yeah, I'll get myself back to the farm. This needs some diesel because it's pretty empty, and ADS did give me a warning before saying I'm running low on fuel and all that, so it's quite helpful. It's quite cool having these little messages pop up from ADS. Once I get used to it, I think I will obviously turn them off, but these little hints and tips and stuff, I mean, we all know not to run out of fuel anyway, don't we? I'm sure. But yeah, it's one of them, and it's just handy to have there for now anyway, especially as a first-time user, so I can just get even more of an idea of what the mod is capable of, because it is incredibly detailed. It really is. It's a fabulous mod. But yeah, the one thing I do need to invest in, not necessarily as a matter of urgency, but relatively quickly, I do need to spend a few £1,000 on a pressure washer, don't I, on the farm, because all of the equipment at the minute is looking pretty rough. So yeah, but we're going to need all three for this one. This is obviously our main workhorse of a tractor, the John Deere here. It's the only one capable of pulling this trailer when it's full. But I'm going to need the Massey as well to sort the header trailer out and head it to the field. Right, there we go. Yeah, let's fill up with that. Let's leave that be for a minute or two. Just leave it running. Let it get fueled up. And so I think, yeah, we'll sort the Massey out first. We'll get this hooked up to the header trailer. Send it on its way. But yeah, 22.5 grand. I was quite chuffed with that, to be honest. It's quite a nice job as well. That lavender's incredibly nice to work with, especially with the vibrant colours of it. Wouldn't you agree? It looked pretty cool. And it is cool to have something different to play with and harvest and work with in Farming Simulator, isn't it? Something a little bit unique like that. It's pretty cool. Now, I did briefly mention before, talking about a crop rotation plan. Oh, hello. Managed to get that one right, didn't I, again? Yeah, crop rotation plan. Now, I still haven't drawn one of those up. I'm still coming to grips with that crop rotation planner mod. But where we are now in September, if we were to act quickly and get a couple of fields turned around, we are actually within the planting window for a handful of crops. We can plant barley, canola, linseed, poppies, rye, wheat or triticale. Now, with that in mind, thinking about, because I do need to think about money, don't I, at the end of the day. As I've always said so far, this is going to be a struggle. It really is. And so I do need to think about the bottom line and what's going to bring in the most money. Now, of all of those crops, canola is the one that fetches the best price come sell time. Running through them very quickly with you. Now, these might be different to the numbers that you guys get. But yeah, bear with me 2 seconds. Let me just send this on its way to field 38. There we go. Right. Off you go. Now I am just going to jump out of cab for that one, let auto drive do its thing. But yeah, send you off to field 38. Nice. We can jump in the harvester. But yeah, so the prices of things. So barley fetches 379 quid for 1,000. Obviously, all these prices are in 1,000 litres, aren't they? So barley's 379, canola's 730, linseed is 448, poppies is 478, rye 272, wheat 408, and triticale 277. Now, in the future, if I do get the opportunity to invest in the production point, the oil production point, then I would be focusing on the likes of the crops like linseed and poppies and lavender, because I would be able to turn them to oil and get a much nicer price back for them in the form of oil when it's been through the production system. But at the minute, I don't own that, do I? So I can't do anything. I'm not going to be doing anything with that. Let's fire you up. How are you like for fuel? Yeah, you're alright for fuel. So yeah, for now, I'm just going to try and focus as best as I can on getting the best price I can for the crops. Right. Let's just bring that to a stop there and let the engine warm up a bit. I'm going to send the John Deere via auto drive over to the field as well. So I can't drive everything at once. And it is quite a distance, isn't it? So let's pull that door shut. Bring up the auto drive menu again. Alright. Anyone else get that sometimes? I can't get my mouse to... there we go, that's better. Right. Field 38. Yeah. Off you go. There we go. Yeah. I'll just quickly dive out as well. Massey Ferguson 5S critical overload. Reduce the load on the vehicle immediately. Oh, now there's a warning. Is that auto drive driver driving like a bit of a lunatic, is he? Where? Let me try and spot it. Is that him there? Yeah, that's him there. Let's enter the vehicle. What have you been doing, Sonny Jim? What's happened? Oh, okay. Let's have a look. We tried to make it round that bend and completely jackknifed it, it looks like. Not so good, is it? Right, let's try that again, shall we? His auto drive speed, he can't have actually been going too fast because his auto drive speed set to 17 miles an hour there. Right, so you've got a couple of minutes left before... Well, the header's still on, it's not fallen off. I wonder what had happened there. Yeah, he's topped out at 17 miles an hour here, so I haven't... he's not set too fast. There we go, you turn up here. Just going to stick with him for a moment here, just to make sure he's not doing anything he shouldn't be. But no, that was... maybe it was just that tight corner, perhaps. It was quite a tight bend, I hadn't considered that. But, yeah. Right, so... I'm not going to make a point of doing this very often on this series, jumping in between the vehicles like this. In fact, there's the John Deere rapidly chasing. Oh, the Massey's actually coming across the going to make it across the bridge, the reservoir viaduct bridge thing here. I have faith in my auto drive course though. Wonder what those pneumatics are. He's just tapping the brakes there, isn't he? Be a bit better on those brakes, my friend. Right, there we go. Yeah, the John Deere's coming up behind, so that's all good. Right, so I'm confident that they're going to make it now without causing too much of a hassle. Let's get back into the combine harvester. It should be warmed up now. Yeah, that's all good. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Let's get ourselves on a drive now, over to the field, and we'll make a start on the linseed.
Talking about yourself and you make me smile. I can listen all night
Right, here we are. Everything all set up. John Deere there ready to support me once I get harvesting. And another little cool feature I've only just realised that this harvester has. I know this is a little bit jiggly there, so forgive me. But if I jump out here, you've also got the interactive control. Oh, forgive that as well. An interactive control icon there for that. How cool is that? Pitch up the PTO. Got to take advantage of all these little bits of realism, haven't I, ladies and gentlemen? It's way cool doing that. It will take a little bit of time getting used to those kind of things. I appreciate that. Please see before when I managed to forget to open the door in the Massey earlier. So there we are. That's that one anyway. So let's bring these up again now. Let's get the harvester unfolded. So cool. So cool. Right, and now I'm going to drop the header down. Which one is drop the header down? Does it have a header drop on this one actually? Maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Either way. What have I just done there? Nope, no idea. Right, anyway. Sorry, faffing with buttons. Right, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to work till about lunchtime. We're about 11:15 now, so I'm going to see how far I can get with this now. In the field for lunchtime. Because the main thing I am very keen to see is how this combine copes with these hills. Now I'm going to be obviously doing course play and whatnot, but I do want to see. I'm going to be programming it to run widthways across the way here, not directly up the hill, but it's still going to have to cope with some uphills doing the headlands. So I'll run a couple of headlands, I think, and see how that goes. But yeah, let's get harvesting. Ticking in there nicely so far. 600 litres, 5% full. Yeah, so I'll run till lunchtime, I think. It's been a busy day so far. I will be stopping for some lunch, and that'll be the end of this video probably. But we'll until then, we'll get cracking, see where we get, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, here we go. Here's the last of it for the morning's work anyway. It's just gone 12 o'clock. So yeah, I think it's a good time to have a bit of a break here now. Give myself a bit of a turn off, as it were. So let's do exactly that. This is going to do just fine here in the field for now, while I nip off and get myself some lunch. So we've been able to get... We've got one trailer load of linseed over in the silo. And even that on its own is currently worth more than the wheat that we've got in there. It's incredible. I'll jump in there and have a look at it very quickly. In stock check, where are we there? But yeah, just under 20,000 litres. It's worth just over £8,000. So yeah, we've got £6,600 worth of barley and £3,264 of wheat. Did I say wheat before? Sorry, I meant the barley. You'll have to forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. I know I've made a couple of silly errors in today's video. It is boiling hot where I am today, and in this room where I'm recording, it is, I think it's probably, it feels about 34 or 33, 34, 35 degrees. It is boiling in here, so my brain is just melting. So please forgive me if I made some silly errors. I know one of them was not appreciated. Earlier on in the video I was talking about the sheep, and now they're at 80% productivity, and I'm waiting for them to get to 100 before they potentially start reproducing with the ram. But they're not going to get there, are they, silly boy, because they've only got grass. They need hay to get 100%. The grass is only giving them 80%. Again, that's just because for such a long time I've been used to mucking around with the animal XMLs and giving sheep and cows 100%. productivity from grass and such. So yeah, I've just been used to that, but it just slipped my mind. So what can I say? I do apologise if it sounded silly. I just recognised it myself before, and I was like, "Oh, you silly boy." But anyway, so far so good. We've got a lot of straw to pick up out of this field as well, which I know I've got a bale flipper on the end of my baler, so it wouldn't have mattered which way I did harvest this field. But do you know what, actually, touching base on that, this harvester has absolutely smashed this field. Yes, we're working side to side, so it's not too bad here. But the headlands, when it was running up the hill there, absolutely faultless. There was no drop in speed, there was no struggling, there was no wheel spinning. I mean, admittedly, the weather's good, but it's got the tracks on the front, I appreciate that. But faultless. I didn't need one of those weird looking jack-up harvesters that work on inclines. I mean, yes, it's not a massive incline, is it? But it's a good hill, let's be honest. But yeah, this thing smashed it. It's absolutely awesome, this tree on 720. So yeah, there we go. It's been a good morning, a good episode. I feel we've got a little bit done today, haven't we? We've got a Hereford bull over in the pasture now, which is great. So hopefully they'll start reproducing very, very soon. We've got the Lavender harvested and in the bank account. We're now sat at a nice £70,000, which is great. Yeah, and half the linseed's done already, so that's great. Yeah, we've pretty much got halfway through the field, so yeah, dead chuffed with that. But I think we'll pick up the next episode where we leave off here. Now, one thing I did want to mention very, very quickly, because it's something that was brought up in the comments many, many times during episodes 1 and 2. As is almost always the case with these save games that myself and Chimera produce. Chimera does the farm build, of course, as she tends to love doing that, and for a lot of my series I've been very fortunate that she has offered to build me a farm. So yes, and as is always the case, we get the request, is the save game available to share publicly? Now, initially the answer was unfortunately no, because there are a couple of MA7 assets on the farm. But now this won't be any news to those of you who are over on my Discord. But a few days ago, Chimera very kindly put a bit more time into amending this save game and removing the MA7 sheds and replacing them with a couple of mods that we can make publicly available. So the long and short of it is, there is a version of this save game over on my Discord if anybody is interested in grabbing a copy of it and playing along, as it were, or doing whatever you want with it. But pretty much 99% of the farm that we have here will be on that. It's just there's a couple of sheds, and the big cow barn, the dairy barn, is an MA7 asset on this save, so that dairy barn has been swapped out for a couple of replacement buildings there. But it's still brilliant, it's lovely, it really is. So yeah, by all means, please do get on over to the Discord. You'll find it in the community save game section. You're more than welcome to come over there and join the fun. It'd be great to see you all there. The link will of course be in the video description below. We have just actually noticed there are a couple of little things that need sorting with that save game. If you do download it, you'll need to delete the hedge that runs around the field that is currently the dairy barn pasture, and also there's a gate there as well that seems to have, no matter, it's to do with the sharing of a save game. It's quite frustrating because we've done everything we can to make sure that it works fine, but as soon as you share it and put it into another player's profile, I think a couple of the things don't stick with the map, i.e. the deleting of the hedges and this particular gate. But it's dead easy. Like I say, you know how to delete a hedge on here. You just find the post that's at the end of the hedge and remove it in the construction menu, and also the gate as well. You remove that in demolition mode. But yeah, so just wanted to bring that to your attention if you were interested in grabbing a copy of this save game. So anyway, enough from me for today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go and grab a bite to eat and go down and grab the Massey. I think I'll just nip into town there and go to Nips' Shell Garage and grab a butty and get back up here, and then the next episode will commence from here. So for now, for me, FARMERSIM, just wanted to say thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really do hope you have enjoyed this episode, found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can as well. It does do wonders. It helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, if you like the idea of supporting the channel as well, there are a couple of ways you can do that. There is my Giants Partner promo code, if any of you are in the market for purchasing Farming Simulator 25 or any of its add-ons or DLCs. There is coffee.com if you'd like to buy me a coffee. And there is also my G-Portal affiliate link if any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates. Any help and support there, ladies and gentlemen, would be massively appreciated. So, Thanks again for your time again, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.